Welcome to Maggie's Astrology. We are in Taurus season now, and May 2026 astrology forecast. I will talk about all signs, zodiac predictions, and the video is time-stamped. And this is a month for action. All planets are direct, and Uranus has moved into Gemini. And my name is Maggie, so welcome here to this forecast. But before we begin, I will just say that this thing about astrology for wellness is understanding what energies are coming next is the thing here. And this is my English version. So if you want to hear this in Swedish instead, I have another channel which is called Wellness Podcast. In Swedish we say Wellnesspodden. But this is the English version of May. But if you would want to listen to this in Swedish, you can listen to the Swedish predictions in Wellnesspodden. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising sign for the most accurate guidance. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest. Use the timestamps to jump directly to your zodiac sign. As I mentioned, if you'd like to hear this in Swedish instead, and for your specific zodiac sign, check May 2026 playlist at Wellnesspodden. And thank you for being here and for sharing this journey with me. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, Maggie's Astrology and Wellnesspodden if you like and share. I have some things on my website. I do astrological consultations and tarot reading, and you can find information about that at www.maggiesmind.se. And also please see the disclaimer at the end. What May brings. In this video I will talk about the month of May and what its main themes are. Here are the topics I will cover. I will talk about May's energies, the full moon in Scorpio at May 1st, new moon in Taurus at 16 May, and the Taurus energy, Gemini energy, and the blue full moon in Sagittarius, the 31st of May. And some important dates and decisions and zodiac sign forecasts. But first I will talk about the monthly overview. May is one of the best months of the entire year for action. With all planets, including the outer planets, moving direct, this month can be an excellent time to launch your projects. It's time to cast as many nets as possible to prepare for the long retrograde season later on this year. We have twice as many supportive aspects compared to challenging ones this month. May is a time for forward movement. Since Jupiter woke up in March, we are now in a flow from 10th April to 12th June. This month is focused on two signs, Taurus and Gemini, with strong undertones from Aries and Cancer developments, which I will talk about later on. The planets. If we talk about Venus, it's the planet of love and relationships, rules Taurus, who rules house 2nd, and also rules Libra and house 7. It moves from Taurus into Gemini around 19 May. So in the beginning of May, Venus is in Taurus. And in the middle of May, it's an aspect with Uranus, who's in Gemini now, and very harmoniously with Pluto, which are in Aquarius. Mercury, extra powerful from 18 May when it enters Gemini, its home sign, where it thrives. Mars in Aries, its ruling sign, is there for 2 weeks in May until 18 May. And this brings a strong forward drive. Then it moves into Taurus with a more grounding energy. But when Mars is in Aries, its home sign, it's very, very powerful and very strong drive there. And if you do have a motion forward, it's a time to think of it and then grounding it in Taurus later on in May. Pluto is in Aquarius, and that's the planet of power and transformation in a very harmonious aspect with Gemini. And in Gemini, we have Uranus, the great awakener. So where Uranus are, there can be big shifts very, very fast. Jupiter is the planet of luck and expansion, is in Cancer, where it really likes to be. Jupiter loves to be in Cancer and do very well there. And Cancer is a sign for home and family. Uranus is change and freedom, and now it has stepped into Gemini for the next 7 years. It rules Aquarius, who is the ruler of innovation, rebellion, technology, and collectivity, friendship, house 11. So it's a strong energy here, you can say. Neptune, dreams, imagination, and transcendence, rules Pisces in house 12 and represent intuition and compassion and imagination and fantasy. Now it's currently in Aries, so the drive is much stronger there than when it was in Pisces. Saturn, the planet for discipline, authority, and patience, rules Capricorn and house 10 for career and ambition, are as well currently in Aries together with Neptune. So we have the dream and the vision and the discipline together now in Aries. And it's a strong forward movement when we have those there in Aries. As I talked about last month, Aries is the first sign with Mars as his ruler. It's very, very strong drive. But we start the month 1st of May with the full moon in Scorpio. On this full moon brings up themes of stability, security, and material balance. It draws powerful emotional currents to the surface and illuminates truth that may have been hidden. Scorpio energy is deeply transformative and encourage honesty with yourself about what is ending, what is evolving, what needs to be released. Situation may reveal deeper motivation, long-standing emotion pattern, or attachments that have been shaping decisions behind the scenes. When we enter Taurus season, we are in Taurus season in May, the sun Taurus shines on you, and so happy birthday to all Taurus. And the sun in Taurus from April 20 to May 21st. We have first Mercury is here from 4th May to 17th May, and Mars will be there from May 19 to June 29. So Taurus energy is steady, grounded, and focused on building something that lasts. It's an earth sign concerned with stability, resources, comfort, and tangible results. Taurus prefers consistency over chaos and values quality over speed. It rules money, physical security, the body, pleasure, and long-term growth. Taurus teaches patience, endurance, and the wisdom of slow, intentional progress. Taurus is an earth sign and rules the second house, whose rules over financing and self-worth. The ruling planet is Venus. The key words are reliable, grounded, patient, loyal, stubborn, and appreciates beauty. It's the part of life that asks, is this sustainable? We have the new moon in Taurus. That's the energy that highlights it. So the new moon opens up a new cycle focused on stability, values, and building something meaningful over time. Taurus reminds us that growth doesn't need to be rushed. What begins now can develop slowly but steady, especially when guided with what truly feels valuable and sustainable. This moon highlights resources, priorities, effort versus reward. It can bring clarity about what you want to cultivate in practical life, whether in finances, creative projects, or daily foundations. Then, in the middle of May, we shift to Gemini. So, Gemini, the sun will be in your sign from May 22nd to June 21st. So, happy birthday to all Geminis. Mercury from May 18 to June the 2nd, is in your sign, and it's a sign where it wants to be. It's their sign. And Venus is from the 25 April to the 19 May in Gemini. So Uranus also begins a 7-year journey through Gemini. The Sun in Gemini supports visibility through speaking, writing, teaching, marketing, and social engagement. This is a time to share your ideas rather than to keep them inside. I will talk more about this in the podcast, Wellnesspodden, at chapter 101. And next month I will focus even more on the Gemini season. The 31st of May, we have a full moon, a blue moon in Sagittarius. A blue moon is an extra full moon occurring within the same calendar month. It's relatively rare, about every 2 or 3 years, and doesn't actually turn blue. It's a calendar phenomenon. The Sagittarius full moon carries expansive, truth-seeking energy, and being a blue moon, it amplifies cultivation, insights, and turning points. Focus shifts toward meaning, perspective, and the bigger picture. Important dates, watch out to manifest before and after these dates. Supportive both dates are the 1st, the 10th, 12th to 13 May, 17 to 19, 22, 24, 26, and 31st May. Pressure, stress days are 4th and 5th May, 21 to 23rd of May, and 25, 26, and 28 May. And then we have the wild card days, could go either way. It's the 1st, the 14th, the 16th, the 17th, and the 22nd of May. As I mentioned, I am a certified astrologer, and if you want a personal chart, I'm offering an introductory price for the moment. It's $495 SEK instead of $995 SEK. I also offer tarot readings, so please see the description or visit maggiesmind.se. I do them in Swedish, but I can, if you wish, do them in English as well. So I have a book inside calendar, you can write to me there, or you can send me an email if you're interested in that. I have some spots left for $495. And now I will talk about the zodiac signs, and I will begin with Aries. So as I said, we usually start with what is the sun? And the sun will be in your second house, highlighting this thing about money, self-worth. Your focus will be on the finances during this period. This is also where the new moon on May 16 will activate things. Before that, we have a full moon on May 1st in your 8th house, shared resources, loan, and taxes. So something will be revealed here. You will see something more clearly now, possibly connected to tax season. And Neptune and Saturnus are in your sign, house 1. So it's really focus for you, hey, because it's your first house, and giving you drive and identity focus, now strongly tied to finances. Pluto is in house 11 for dream, future goals, something you deeply reflecting over now. Jupiter in house 4 brings focus to home and family. Uranus moves into Gemini in house 3, communication house, along with Mercury, the ruler of communication and the ruler of Gemini, and Venus, very dynamic. Mars is in your sign for the first 2 weeks, so that is a very strong drive for you. Then it will move into house 2, focus on money. Some pressure from Pluto may bring prowess, travel, or breakthroughs. So this is a month for you, Aries, with strong focus on finances, and I think something has to be pushed through before, with this pressure from Pluto, before you can have the breakthrough. But it could be worth fighting for, I would say. Taurus. The sun is in your house 1, so the sun shines on you, the identity, body, self-image, new beginnings. So I will just say this, happy birthday, Taurus. The sun is in your sign. It's your time now. And so we will start with the sun. This is your identity, your life force, your direction. And with the sun in your first house, the focus will be fully on you. How you show up, how you feel in your body, how you want to move forward. The new moon on the May 16 in your sign is a powerful reset for you. This is your personal new year, a chance to set intention around who you are becoming and what you want to embody moving forward. Before that, we have a full moon in Scorpio in house 7, the 1st of May, this will be, and it will highlight relationships. Something becomes clearer for you here. How you relate, what you need, and or what no longer aligns with you. It's a mirror. Neptune and Saturn in house 12 brings a more inward, reflecting energy for you here underneath it all. You may still be processing something from the past, even as you step into something new. So Pluto impacts your career, deep transformation around directions and long-term goals. Jupiter in communication expands your voice, and here you express yourself. You are coming out of a more withdrawn phase, and now things begin to clarify for you. So this is a month where you slowly but surely step back into yourself with more awareness and more intention. Gemini, the sun in Taurus will highlight house 12 for you, endings, rest, and subconscious. And as we begin with the sun in your 12th house, which is a very different energy, this is not of pushing forward, it's about closing cycle. Focus is on reflection, rest, and preparing for what's next. And next month it will be your focus on yourself and your identity, house 1. But for the moment, we are in the closing season, house 12. You may feel, so the focus is to reflect, rest, and prepare for what's next. So you may feel the need to pull back a bit, to think, to process, to be more in your inner world. The new moon on the 16th of May also happens here, reinforcing this theme. Something is ending to something new can begin next month when the sun enters your sign. But first we have a full moon, the 1st of May, which lights up your 6th house for work, health, and routines. Something becomes more clearly about your daily structure or your well-being. Neptune and Saturn in house 11 brings focus to long-term dreams and network. What aligns, what doesn't. Pluto in house 9 expands your perspective in a deep way. Uranus in your sign brings major change every energy. You are evolving quickly, even if it feels unclear at times. Mars in house 11 gives drive toward your goals and future vision. Venus and Mercury in your first house increase attraction, visibility, and ideas. So even if this is more internal month, things are quickly shifting into a big way for you. You're preparing for the next personal new beginning. Cancer. The sun in Taurus affects house 11, future networks and dreams. So when the sun lights up your 11th house, your vision for the future, your goals, your networks, this is where you look ahead. What do you want? What are you going? The new moon strengthens this new intention around your dreams and long-term direction. The full moon in Scorpio on May the 1st highlights your 5th house of creativity, joy, and self-expression. There is something about reconnecting to what makes you feel alive. Saturn influences career. There's a responsibility and structure there. Pluto brings deeper transformation. Uranus in the 12th house creates inner change that may not be fully visible. Venus and Mercury in the 12th house suggest a need for rest and retreat. You're not meant to be fully on all the time this month. There is a balance here between dreaming forward and stepping back. You're aligning your inner world with your future direction. Leo, the sun in Taurus lights the house 10 of career, direction, status. So when the sun activates your 10th house, this is about your role in the world, your career, your visibility, your direction. The new moon on May 16 brings a reset here. New beginnings connected to career of life direction. The full moon highlights home and family, creating a balance between private life and public life. Something may need adjustment here, and the full moon is in Scorpio on May the 1st. Neptune and Saturn in the ninth house point toward expansion, learning, traveling, or shifting perspective. Pluto in the seventh house transforms relationships. Mars in the ninth house gives a strong drive to grow, explore, and expand. This is monument here, but also a need to align your external path with your inner truth. This month asks you, where are you going and why? Virgo, the sun in Taurus is house 9 for you, expansion, travel, and philosophy. So the sun activates your ninth house. This is about growth beyond your currently reality. Travel, learning, perspective shift. Something is expanding. The new moon on May 16 in Taurus strengthens this, opening a new path of direction. On the 1st of May, we have a full moon in Scorpio, and it brings clarity about communication, something you need to say or understand. Saturn and Neptune in the 8th house point toward deeper inner transformation. Pluto in the 6th house affects your routines and work in a profound way. Mars brings strong energy for change and development. There is a sense of breaking out of old limitations. Mid-month, there is a strong potential for breakthroughs, especially if you allow yourself to think differently. Libra, the sun in Taurus is house 8 for you, transformation and shared resources, finances. The sun activates your 8th house. This is deep territory, transformation, shared resources, emotional depth. The new moon on May 16 in Taurus reinforces this. Something new begins. But it requires letting go of something first. The full moon in Scorpio, the 1st of May, highlights your 2nd house, your own finances and self-worth. There is a balance between what is yours and what is shared. Neptune and Saturn in the 7th house focus on relationships. Pluto in the 5th house brings creativity, power, and emotional intensity. Jupiter in the 10th house expands career and opportunities. Mars activates relationships early in the month, then shift focus. This is a powerful month for inner and outer transformation. There is real breakthrough potential, especially around money, relationships, and directions. Scorpio, the sun in Taurus, enlightens your house 7 of relationships and partnerships. The sun lights up your 7th house, relationships come into focus. The new moon on May 16 happens here, pointing towards new beginnings or investments in relationships. But before that, the full moon on the May 1st is in your sign, Scorpio. This is your full moon. Something significant is revealed about you, your identity, or your emotional truth. Saturn and Neptune in house 6 bring focus to work and health. Pluto in the 4th house transforms home and family foundations. Jupiter in the 9th house expands your world, travel, learning, or new opportunities. Uranus is in the 8th house, brings unexpected shift in shared resources or deeper emotional layers. Mars starts in your 6th house, drive in work and routines, then moves into relationships, increasing intensity. This creates strong dynamics later on in May. You may need to adjust how you meet others, communicate, or compromise. This is a turning month for relationships and identity for you, Scorpio. Sagittarius, the sun in Taurus enlightens house 6, work, health, and routines. So the sun activates your 6th house, your daily life, your routines, your health. The new moon in Taurus, 16th of May, brings a reset here, new habits and new structures. Before that, the 1st of May, we have a full moon in Scorpio. It lights up your 12th house, closure, release, inner processing. Something is ending behind the scenes. Neptune and Saturnus in the 5th house brings creativity, but also responsibility around joy and expression. Pluto in the 3rd house transforms your thinking and communication. Jupiter in the 8th house focuses on shared resources. Uranus in the 7th house brings changes into relationships, and Mars shifts from creativity to work. There is a clear movement to play, to discipline. And it's not here on the sign here, but you have a full moon the 31st of May in your sign, the full moon, the blue moon that I talked about in the beginning. So you also have a full moon in May, as well as the full moon in Scorpio. 1st of May, you also have a full moon the 31st of May in your sign, because it affects you more when it's in your sign. So just have that in mind as well. So this month is about getting grounded, creating structure that supports your well-being long term. Capricorn, the sun in Taurus, is house 5 for you, creativity, joy and love. And the sun activates your 5th house. This is a lighter and more expressive energy. Creativity, romance, joy, what makes you feel alive? The new moon in Taurus is on May 16, and it strengthens this, the new beginnings in love, creativity or passion for some projects. The full moon, May 1st, in Scorpio, lights up your 11th house. That's networking, goals and future visions. There is a balance between joy in the present and long-term direction. Saturn and Neptune in the 4th house focus on home and emotional foundations. Pluto in the 2nd house transforms finances and values. Jupiter is in the 7th house, expands relationships, and Uranus in the 6th house brings changes in work and health. Mars moves from home to routines, shifting your focus. There is both joy and responsibility here. You're learning how to create something meaningful while staying grounded. Aquarius. The sun in Taurus affects house 4, home and family and roots. So the sun activates your 4th house, your inner world, your home, your emotional foundation. The new moon brings a reset in this area. Something new begins around home or your sense of belonging, and that this is in Taurus on May the 16th. The full moon in Scorpio on May 1st highlights career. Something becomes clear about what your direction here. Pluto in your 1st house brings deep personal transformation. You are changing at your core now. Jupiter in the 6th supports work and health. Uranus in the 5th, creativity and spontaneity. Mars activates communication, then home, shifting your focus between expression and inner life. Venus and Mercury bring both social and creative energy. There is a strong theme of balancing inner world and outer life. Who you are becoming needs to align with how you live. Pisces. The sun in Taurus is in your 3rd house of communication. So when the sun activates your 3rd house, communication, thoughts, learning and daily interaction. And the new moon on May 16 in Taurus opens a new way of thinking for you or expressing yourself. At May 1st, we have a full moon in Scorpio, and that will highlight expansion, bigger perspective and education or travel. Saturn and Neptune in the 2nd house focus on finances and your self-worth. Pluto is in the 12th house that brings deep inner transformation. Jupiter is in your 5th, enhances creativity and joy. Uranus is now in the 4th, brings change in home and family. Mars activates finances first, then communication. Venus and Mercury move from home into creative expression. So there is a process here. First you feel and process, then you begin to express. And during May, something can really click into place, especially around self-worth and how you communicate your value. Disclaimer that I mentioned in the beginning, I will address here. Astrology is intended for inspiration, reflection, and personal insights only. The information shared in this video should not be taken as a professional, medical, legal, or financial advice. Always trust your own judgment and take responsibility for your choices. I want to thank you for being here. I hope I will see you next month. Until then, stay well and safe.